Hello, wonderful people. I I want to expand upon this lesson. I am blessed as a son of God, right? Um, so all of these, like I am perfect as God created me. All these beautiful teachings. I want to really talk about it because, like, even today, um, I acted out of preference, right? I didn't make as much money as I wanted to this month, and my parents found out, like, holy moly! But I'm under, I would say, like a transition period where I want to start thinking the different ways of making money. But that's a topic for a different time. But and I was feeling guilty about the amount of money that was coming in. I'm like, and I want to rake myself over the coals, berate myself, because it's still like I'm still on this healing journey when it comes to money. And I know the past version of Kahir would have berated himself, would have attacked himself, would have abandoned himself again. But I'm like, I made this vow to never abandon myself, no matter what reason I say. Right? And this is the thing, we can come up with so many reasons to withhold love from ourselves, right? Um, but the thing is, even if we're acting out of preference, we could just come up with a solution and implement the solution. I read something in Becoming the Giant or Awakening the Giant Within from Tony Robbins, and it was like, focus like 3 seconds on the problem and then focus the rest of your time on the solution and just do that. It's simple, but I don't know how you were raised, but when I was raised, it was like, quapot, quapot, quapot. There's a problem, problem, problem. You have a problem. You're bad because of this problem. This problem means that you're lazy. This problem means that something's wrong with you. And then I'd be ashamed of even thinking of a solution. I'll just like, oh, I have a problem. It's my problem. I had, and that kept me stuck for so many years, guys. Right? With my weight loss journey, I'm like, oh, it's the Onasi curse, like my dad said. It's the Onasi curse. They're always going to be overweight. It sucks, that such a belief system was installed with me. But instead of just focusing on the solution, be like, all right, let's watch what we eat, let's exercise, let's find something fun we can do. You know, focus on the solution that works for you, right? I know this stuff is simple, but if it was simple, everyone would be doing it, right? But if you're like me, a survivor of CPTSD, right? We find any reason to withhold this love, and we feel it's justified, right? Like what I said in earlier videos, like, oh, like this celebrity was like, oh, I was late, I'm not a good husband, I'm going to like berate myself. For what reason, right? Because we believe it serves us in some way, but I'm telling you, it doesn't serve us. Even if you think it does, it could, if you see results in the physical world, it's only temporary, right? Because shame is a very short fuse. I don't know what to say. Like, it doesn't motivate, it can't motivate you for the long term because it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable, right? Right? Because we get stuck in life because of these burdens, right? I was stuck because of these burdens, right? But the truth is, the love of God can never be taken away from you, right? The love of the Holy Spirit, the divine, it can never be taken away. We all have this divine spark within us, right? Even Viktor Frankl, he was a Holocaust survivor, and he wrote a book, A Man's Search for Meaning, which I highly recommend. Everyone should read this. I think it's like, that should be mandatory reading, right? Man's Search for Meaning, right? Because even in the darkest depths of humanity, like, can you imagine what's worse than the Holocaust? He still found meaning and purpose, right? And he transmuted that deep suffering to help other people, right? For this book and for his teachings, right? Right? And he never abandoned hope. I remember at this part in the book where he imagined like talking to his wife, like he found like this spiritual sanctuary in his own head, right? So remember, circumstances don't matter. Only my state of being matters, right? From the teaching of Bashar, right? And how easily we give peace away, right? We find so many excuses. Oh, I'm late, or I didn't make enough money. I should be making more money. I should be in 10 different relationships, whatever is going through your mind, How easily we give it away, as we're taught from a young age, like it doesn't matter, right? But the peace of God is paramount, right? The peace of God is paramount. And the thing, it's always accessible. It's always accessible. Always. I'm not talking in a religious sense, right? Because I've also seen feeds about people like debating the Bible and all this. I'm not here to, debate anybody because, I grew up Catholic and it wasn't for me because it's based on sin and control and, like also Zadkiel, my brother is, is gay and all this. So there was like a big conflict with that. It's not about religion. It's about this divine truth within us, right? Because I don't know about you guys. I had an atheist friend who's like, "Oh yeah, when we die, we just there's nothingness." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, do you want to like live life thinking like that? Like it's just gonna be over and done with?" Or okay, whatever floats your boat. But I don't know. Just like feeling like we're just uh, a c this accident in the cosmos, and there's nothing, like it's all just chaos driven. Oh, that's just like, oh, I don't want to live like that. Like, maybe it seems in the outworld, but there's like, um, of quantum entanglement, was it sacred geometry, all this, the science and spirituality, they don't have to be separate. They can be together, right? Which is, I explore that a little bit. I'm learning. I do try to learn a little bit more about that because that's interesting. But what's more interesting for me is healing the mind right now. So yes, and because when we're focused on love only wants to extend itself, right? This is why I felt even more compelled now because I don't have the fear baggage I had in the past that kept me from posting the videos, and plus I had other things I had to deal with, right? But this pressure, this external pressure from the world, from society, it can break you, right? It broke me, right? I felt such a loser, right? Also because like I finished my degree like way later than, and I started university like, oh, like I started it like, because I took like a gap year because I had no idea what to do. And I was like, oh, so I started when I was like, what? I was 20. Like, oh, God. And I had from my parents, like, you're 2 years behind. Oh, like I think, I don't think it's right that we just push people into university when they barely even know who they are, you know? All right, that's a topic for another time. But you see, this external stuff, like you have to have it all figured out, especially as men, guys. Like we have to figure out when we're like what, 25, what arbitrary number you have in your head, 22, whatever it is. Like, come on, like, like this stuff can be complicated, man. And like to give ourselves space and divine grace, divine timing, right? Really putting our future in the hands of God. We're not on anyone else's timeline. We're on the divine's timeline, right? There that therein lies peace, right? Because if I believe like, oh, I'm behind, oh, because of some arbitrary, like you gotta finish school when you're 22, then or maybe you can get a doctorate, then you get a job, and then you get a house, you have a family. Oh, I'm not doing that. Well, like, what if I don't want to do that? What if I want to live differently? Does that mean automatically I'm a failure? Right? Is that the voice of is that the voice of love, or is that the voice of fear? Right? I know there's so many people that deal with this, like this parasite of the mind, right? That we're somehow behind because of some other person's standards. What about your standards? What about what do you actually want to be in life, right? But it's not even really about that. It's about the peace of God is within us all the time, all the time. But we can give our power away for whatever reason, right? And this is a call to love, to return back home, because like I said, this pressure can break us. It can. But ask and it's given, right? The call of love. Just ask for it. Take the small step, right? Because the ego is unquenchable, right? We're always going to be wanting something. It's always going to wanting, striving, looking at the next step. Right? You'll never get it done, right? But this. I'm not saying like to abandon your dreams, because I also did that. I'm like, oh, I'm okay. I'll just not want anything. Try that. I don't. If someone has been totally detached, like let me know. But it's difficult, and I don't think that's my path. I don't know about you guys. Like we did come here to experience some things and create things, right? We want to create because we are created in the image of the Creator, right? And He wants to extend. He wants to create, right? To not to create is doing us a disservice, right? Yes. So I said not to abandon dreams, but ask where is it coming from? Is it coming from the voice of love or from fear? Because I was doing a lot of things out of fear, right? Fear of being destitute, fear of being homeless, fear of being rejected, right? And I wasn't listening to the voice of love, and and the manifestations reflected upon that, right? And also all this pressure, like I said about this timeline, where was it coming from? Was it coming from within me, or was it coming from the voices of Mama and Tata, right? From my parents, right? Well, maybe from your parents, from something external, right? Uh, like what I found for me, like finding stuff that really pulls me, but through the voice of love, that's when actual divine creation, like with Makes Nuts, my improv group, that came from within, from spreading joy in alignment to my purpose. And it really surpassed my wildest dreams. Right? And here's hoping even more. um, yeah, so I talked about love wants to extend itself. Very good. Oh, because, I felt the self-hatred, right? This endless beratement, right? I did, like I said, multiple times, I felt like such a loser, and such, like I was in the gutter. And I don't want anyone to feel like that for no reason, right? Even my worst enemy, right? No, no. This and I understand it because I gave so much, I was abandoning myself because I learned, from a young age to abandon myself. And I think there's an epidemic of emotional neglect that people learn to abandon themselves. But once we turn to the Holy Spirit, He's going to show us what baggage we need to leave, right? Because a lot of this baggage is not ours. It's from someone else, from society, from our parents, and the Holy Spirit's asking us gently to let that go. Right? Especially we live in this world where we value hierarchy, like, oh, your family is wiser, they know better than you. For me, like a marching band, like, oh, this guy is older than you, so he can insult you, he can tell you what to do. I felt this is the thing. I felt like I was lesser than somebody just because they were 2 or 3 years older than me. I wonder how many people have dealt with that. I hope it's not me, just me. Or in work, I had this lady, and she's like the secretary, but she's like, she managed my students, and she felt it like, oh, like she felt like to be like she was able to control me because she was, I guess you could say higher up, right? It sucks, but the thing is, we are all blessed as sons of God, all of us, right? So the divine truth is we're all equal. We're all equal. Right? We all deserve respect. And the thing is, you deserve your own respect. You deserve the true love of the Creator flowing through you all the time. Not putting that as pressure, but just like knowing it's available to tap into. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care.